Hello, what's up? Wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the Game Awards. It seems to be a lot of people talking about it at this time every year because every year there's always something to talk about with the Game Awards. I feel like they've kind of backed themselves into a corner, or rather, Jeff has backed himself into a corner. It's almost like it's trying to be two things at once, and I think he really needs to decide whether he wants it to be an actual, um, you know, uh, stand-up credible award show, or just do something like Summer Games Fest, or be sort of he wants to be sort of like E3. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it can be both. I think it has to be one or the other. This year was, I mean, I like the award side of what I like to see developers get recognition. I like to see developers go up on stage and talk about the struggles making the game, talk about how thanking their co-workers, family, friends, blah blah blah. And I like that side of it. I like watching the BAFTA awards. I like watching the Game Awards. I like watching the Dice Awards. And they are, for me, they are more credible, prestigious award shows. The Game Awards is an award show in disguise with loads of announcements. And a lot of the time the announcements are good. I feel this year it was too much. It was just like there was too much going on. 18% of that award show was actual awards. And it was just the whole sort of not letting developers have their moment on stage, playing people off with music, which I think is really disrespectful and rude. Having a big sign up saying wrap it up, giving people 30 seconds to speak about to accept an award. I think it's bullshit. I think this year I've seen a lot of people criticizing the Game Awards, and I totally think that it deserves all the criticism that it gets, because it seems to just be this formula. You can already predict what's going to be on the next year's Game Awards. It's their 10th award show. The Golden Joysticks have been going for 40 plus years. And Jeff just has this formula of, like, he'll come out in his little sparkly sneakers, he'll look nonchalantly at the camera and look away. He'll bring out a celebrity that has nothing to do with the games industry whatsoever, present an award. We'll have a Muppet. There'll be some kind of Muppet. It was the Swedish Chef, and it was Beaker and that science pea head. And then we've had Gonzo for the past 2 years, I think. And then he sort of wheels Kojima out because he's got this weird obsession with Kojima. And Kojima will come out and say a few sentences and not really announce anything or show anything, just say that he's working on something. That's the dog there, she's asleep. And it's just this same sort of shit every year, like the same script, the same sort of low brow effort. There's no real thought that goes into it, I feel, because the template that he's got is so safe, and he thinks that that's what we all enjoy. We've got the Philharmonic Orchestra that play every single year. It's just very, very predictable, and it's very boring. It's 3 hours and 37 minutes if you count the pre-show. And even the announcements this year, there was nothing there really that sort of blew my socks off. And I'm not the center of the gaming universe. Not everything is relevant to me. Everyone's different. But for me, there was nothing really there that sort of spiked my interest in anything that was there. Even the God of War DLC, I was kind of, all right, okay, it's sort of like a one of them fucking live and die repeat things. The name escapes me. But even that was sort of like roguelike, that was it. Even that was just a bit bland and a bit shit. Blade looked like a Fortnite game, and they say it's going to be really graphic, but with graphics like that, it's very cartoony. The Matthew McConaughey game looked a bit bland and a bit safey sci-fi. The art style didn't really grab me. Loads of Fortnite adverts. You know, Hellblade, they showed gameplay, I suppose. They didn't show any combat. Still no release date on that. You know, it was just very mediocre this year. And even like last year and the year before that, it's just the same. It's very boring. You know, Christopher, and they also do this thing where if something funny happens in the Game Awards, then that person will be on next year presenting an award. So they brought out Christopher Judge to present the first award, and he gave an 8-minute long speech last time. And he came out and he roasted himself, took the piss, and had a little pop at Call of Duty, which I thought was funny. But they have this thing where it's like, oh, well, that was funny last year, so we'll do it again this year to get the same laugh. You know, that Joseph Seraph, the guy who was going F the Oscars, you know, when he accepted his award and Jeff was all weird and cringy because he was sticking his fingers up and saying F the Oscars, they brought him back the year after to accept an award, and he was saying it again, and it's like, oh yeah, remember when he said that? Oh, remember, you know, member berries, rose-coloured glasses. And it's just that. It's just, I don't feel like there's any originality to it. I feel like it is just Jeff rubbing shoulders with the Hollywood elite. You know, there's not even anyone who presents an award like Angry Joe, or, you know, fucking get Buggy on there if you have to. Get Greg Miller up there. Get somebody, XQC, get Moist Critical, Wings of Redemption, Dark Side Phil. Get them up to present an award. You know, they'll have a, you know, it'll be a sort of funny, weird moment. Like, oh, DSP is presenting an award, and he might say something that's funny. You know, it's just these, let's get Vin Diesel in because he's in Ark. Let's get the guy out of Dune in because why he was there, I have no idea. You know, let's get these Hollywood celebrities, and they can speak for as long as they want, whereas Sam Lake gets 30 seconds and gets played off. You know, the Baldur's Gate team, when they went up for one of their awards, were talking about people that had died, colleagues of theirs that had died during the making of Baldur's Gate 3, and the music comes on to play them off. Are you fucking serious? Fuck off with that shit. It's so disrespectful. It's so rude. There was so many announcements, it was hard to just sort of keep up with what was going on. It just feels like a massive 3-hour infomercial with a little bit of awards sprinkled in. And even then, you know, the awards, many of the people didn't even get up to go on stage and accept the award. You know, Jeff Keighley just does this thing where he announces these awards at the side of the stage, and he goes, right, best content creator, trending gamer, he'll announce that on the side of the stage. Sports, side of the stage. Esports coach, side of the stage. Esports event, side of the stage. They'll even announce some of the awards in the pre-show. And if you imagine if you got nominated for an award at the Game Awards and you didn't get to go up on stage and accept it, how pissed off would you be? I'd be raging. I'd be like, well, I don't want the award because I didn't get to accept it. You know, he did Indie Game of the Year, Sea of Stars won, and the guy, I can't remember which game it was, and don't quote me on this, it might not have been Sea of Stars, but that guy who made Sea of Stars 100% deserved to get up on stage. But I know there was one person who didn't get to accept an award, who was going through chemotherapy while he was making his game. And they didn't get to go up and accept it when they're going through all that in their life and still try to produce a game. It's just crazy. And I'm glad a lot of people, I am glad because I think Jeff, and a lot of people go, yeah, I appreciate what he does, you know, and it's, yeah, okay, he's trying. But every year it's just sort of like, let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Oh, that worked this year, so we'll do that again next year. You know, and I realise that what he's got on his shoulders to produce for everyone is the pressure on him must be unreal. But he doesn't listen to feedback. Every single year he tweets out, so what did you think of the Game Awards this year? Many times I've interacted with him and said, look, it was a bit long, this was wrong. You know, don't ask for feedback if you're not going to listen to feedback and you're just going to stick your head in the sand like a massive fucking ostrich. You know, you just need to trim down the announcements, increase the awards, maybe drop a few categories. Nobody cares about esports coach. Nobody cares about esports event. Nobody cares about fucking trending gamer. Do you know what I mean? It just get rid of some of the categories and have more. Have more gaming categories. it's crazy. Look, it's just so, I feel like it's so far removed of what he's trying to, I don't feel like it represents me as a gamer. You know, I feel like it's very immature. It's, you know, it's just cringe. It really is. And it's like, people say, oh, well, it's like, you know, we need our version of the Oscars. We don't need our version of the Oscars. The Oscars are terrible. The Oscars are cringe. The Oscars are shit. The Oscars are woke. It's all about the message and slapping people in the face with the message and driving the message home. And we don't need that. And it doesn't bring the community together because it just drives it apart. You've got people on Twitter constantly crying and whinging because a game didn't get nominated that they like this year, and it's not nominated in a category. But they don't have the brain power and the function to go, well, hang on, this year was an absolute blinder for games. There's obviously going to be a few snubs. Mine didn't make the cut. And the way that they vote for these, you know, the whole, it's a global scale of media outlets, 102 or 120 something outlets, and none of them talk to each other, but they all just commune inside their own little company, and they all put a name forward, and then if there's a joint decision, then the 10% of the vote goes towards the public vote goes towards it, and it's just like, why can't it be? And I realise why it can't be fully voted for by the fans, because the gaming community isn't mature enough for that, because the amount of people that you get creating fake accounts just to review bomb something on Metacritic is why we'll never get an award show that is fully voted for by the fans. But yeah, it sucks because I want it to be good. I want it to be good. I don't watch it. I've never watched it live. I always watch it the day after because then I can just fast forward the cringe. But it's hard to watch. It's a big ask, in my opinion, to ask people to sit down and watch it for nearly 4 hours, to sit through all of that. You know, it's just, I just think it really needs a good shake-up. Like, I think, I mean, I've come to terms with the fact that it's not an award show. You know, the awards are secondary to the announcements. They are priority. If you want to watch something that's a bit more prestigious and takes awards seriously, I would say the BAFTAs and the Golden Joysticks are probably the best ones to watch, in my opinion. Both British as well, so there you go. But yeah, I didn't like it. I thought it was embarrassing. Jeff won't. Will it change? No, it won't change. It'll get worse before it gets better. Guarantee next year Gonzo will be back or some sort of Muppet. They'll wheel Kojima out and there'll be a sea of ejaculate everywhere and everyone wiping all the jizz out their eyes because, you know, Kojima's a god, apparently. And it'll be the same stuff, the music, you know, the awkward, you know, gotta have 30 seconds. I bet next year as well, I bet you any money next year, they're allowed to speak for as long as they want. And I bet you there'll be more awards than announcements. But I think it's really bad. I think it's really, really bad. And you shouldn't take it seriously. But, you know, I made a video not that long ago saying you shouldn't take it seriously. And you shouldn't take it seriously because it's one of many award shows. And then each individual publication website like IGN, GameSpot, Eurogamer, Game Rant, they all do their own Game of the Year on their page as well. So the Game of the Year is just relevant to you. But to sit there and watch an award show purely rooting for your game to win Game of the Year, I mean, if you're doing that, you need help. But that's it. That's the video. Let me know what you think if you give a shit. If you don't, then don't bother. It's that simple. See you again on another one.